How's it going, everybody? It's the Misfitbear. Excuse the horrible lighting above my head. I'm currently at work. I'm going to try to back up a little bit. There we go. I'm currently at work, and I felt the need to get a few things off my chest. Now, I've told very many people over the last year of doing the broadcasting world and all that fun stuff that I did it to tell my story. But not a whole lot of people know what that story is. Not a whole lot of people know of the demons that have haunted me for many years. Well, now, here is that moment. Here is that moment that I will tell my story. The story that made me who I am now. And created the parts of me that I just don't like. Starting off is an interesting way. I was born with asthma. The first 2 years of my life were a struggle. I even had to be administered steroids just to be able to have a chance to live through the developmental stages of that time in my life. And I clinically had asthma until I was about 16. No, maybe 16, 17. So by the grace of God, I got through it. But I also had a bad heart at one point as well. So my health has just been a roller coaster ride for the first 17 years of my life. Heck, life in general was a roller coaster ride for that amount of time. In addition to needing help just to be able to even come into the world, I needed help to live throughout the first 2 years of it. Coming up in school, I was made fun of. I was called ugly. I was called fat. I was made fun of by the guys who were in sports because I didn't join sports. My asthma was an excuse because I wouldn't last. And coming up in a family that is known to have athletes in it, you can imagine how things were for me. Because I was still forced to play sports coming up. Now, playing t-ball and coach pitch, that wasn't that big of an issue. But when it came to playing basketball for the little city league teams that we had at the time, I don't even know if they even still exist at this point. But I was effectively looked at because I was not athletic. Because I refused to go work out. Because I, didn't want to play sports. Even though the doctor said I couldn't do it. I was chastised and looked down on by my family just because of that fact. So not even health restrictions govern respect nowadays. Pain itself doesn't govern respect because people will shun your attempt to be there for them just because you haven't been through exactly what they've been through. Last time I checked, pain is physical, mental, spiritual, and all other kinds of pain. It's not rated by level. It's not weighed on a freaking Libra scale. If a person is trying to be there for you, that person is trying to take time out of their life to show you some love. And I've actually been the victim of that. I've actually been turned away by a person because what they were dealing with, I never went through. But then those same kind of people want to wonder why nobody's there for them. There's a difference between a person not wanting to be there for you and then you not letting that person be there. You gotta let people be there if it's what you want. If it's not what you want, then don't want it. Because you're hurting, I understand, But making somebody else hurt when they're trying to help you stop hurting, that's bad. That's really bad. But that's my opinion on it. Moving on from that, being born with asthma, struggling for the first 2 years of my life, needing steroids just to be able to live, was made fun of in school. That's just for the first few years of it. The pain really set in when my dad passed away. February 10th, 2006. 12 years ago. The only reason why I knew that something happened to him, my dad woke me up at 6:30 every morning for school. Monday through Friday every morning. That was about the time he woke me up. At the latest, 6:35, 6:40. I wake up to my mother screaming his name. She called him Baby Doll. That was their pet name. That was her pet name for him. She was saying his name. She was saying Baby Doll, saying wake up. When I heard that and opened my eyes, the clock was right in front of my face, so I could open my eyes and look at what time it was without having to move. 6:30 on the dot struck as soon as I opened my eyes and looked at the clock. I was 12 years old at the time, but I still knew. Something about it, I still knew. I knew something was wrong. I knew something had happened. And upon walking back to their bedroom, seeing my mother on the phone with 911 while also simultaneously trying to give him CPR because she was a registered nurse for 25 years, I froze. I couldn't approach. I could not get any closer. I knew what had happened. I knew that my dad was dead. The paramedics get there. They get, him on the bodyboard. And I didn't find this out until after he was already gone later that morning. He actually woke up, saw my mom and said, "I love you." She said, "I love you too." And he went and didn't wake up. It still pains me to this day to know that I could have heard those words, but I didn't. I didn't. My mom, for 2 years, blamed me for his death. And let me tell you why. There were the old school water coolers. Anybody who, grew up in the South in the 90s should know what these things are. They were like progenitors to air conditioning. They had this little, grass stuff all throughout them. And you took the water hose, you watered the grass, you put water in there, you turned it on like pump, and it like kind of dripped or evaporated the water or something, and that's what blew in the cool air. This, was for like those older houses. So one night, I get up, go to the bathroom, I'm cold in the room, so I harmlessly turn off the water cooler. Well, I go back to sleep, my brother comes in maybe a couple of hours later, turns on the water cooler, and it doesn't work. So he's asking, why is it not working? I was like, I turned it off because I got cold. My dad ends up getting up, and this is late at night. My dad ends up getting up, him and my brother work on it, and my dad tells me, "You will be the death of me." Just because I turned off the water cooler, and it happened to not come back on. And mind you, This was before he passed away, so I was even younger than 12 years old. Telling me you will be the death of me, and that shit sticks until he does pass away. And it's like I said, I know pain in more ways than one. And I know some of those pains from my own mother. Some things I won't say. But you can kind of get the gist of it. For 2 years, she hated me. Even thought about filing a false assault police report just to get me out of the house because, quote, "You're not going to kill me too," unquote. She actually told her friends he said that he would be the death of him. I guess he was right. She told me, "You killed my husband. Not you killed your dad. You killed my husband, and you will not kill me too." My dad passed away on February 10th, 2006. His birthday is February 25th. The year 2008, my mom passed away on February 28th. I literally lost both of my parents in the same month, 2 years apart, 2 weeks apart. And my mom died 3 days after my dad's birthday. Throughout those 2 years, I thought of running away. Throughout those 2 years, I thought about doing far worse. And those thoughts just intensified after my mom died, because she died hating me. I got the help because I had those kinds of thoughts, so I have been there. But I bet you're wondering, how could it get worse? Well, this was up until I was 15. Let me tell you about how shit has gone after that. Number one, I had no idea for 6 years that my mom had life insurance. Because my aunt, her older sister, my guardian at the time, used it. Now I bet you're wondering, well, maybe she used it to take care of you. That's not the case with this. Even people, back in my hometown where all of this happened, people that know her, go figure, say the same thing. Lawyers have said the same thing. Lawyers who know her. That's not the point. My brother and her made an agreement that he would provide everything that I needed because that money would go into a certificate of deposit account and gain interest until I was of age. Then that money would go to me. I would have had 10 grand. I could have gotten my own car. I could have paid for my own college. Why do I mention that? Because I used the old '03 Nissan Sentra that my aunt used to have. Then she mysteriously had a brand new '09 Nissan Altima. Interesting. Where money to get something like that brand new would come from. She nitpicked into my wallet when I got paid, when I started working, but bragged about how much money she made compared to me and my ability to be a man in my own life. If I tried to leave, she threatened to take the car from me, effectively making me lose my job and would make me have to move back there anyways. I was literally controlled by this woman for 6 years, and I didn't even know it. I didn't know about the life insurance until she told me that one day she gave me $20 of gas and said, "This is the last of the money your mom left you." And she said, "Oh, I don't know how much money there was. It just came in." And when I found out, I left. This entire state. I left everything behind and moved. Because despite knowing this, there wouldn't have been anything I could do about it. Her reputation alone would have been more than I could do. So I moved to another state, and things were looking good for quite some time. Then things fell apart during the winter, and I wound up homeless. I wound up homeless for a few days. Now, take into consideration, at the ass end of those homeless days, it began to get it began to get -10 weather. I had no winter clothes. As a matter of fact, I only had a big suitcase worth of everything that I had. And that wasn't even everything. A lot of other things were stolen from me by the people that supposedly had my back. I even asked my brother if I can go and stay with him, and not even he was there. And I almost died, and he wouldn't have even known it. Nobody would have until they found my body. And I was out in the country, so they'd have found what was left of me. I have literally been to the end. And yet here I am. Because two strangers who knew of my situation came and found me and saved my ass. If it wasn't for them, I would not be looking at you through this screen right now. I would not be here to tell the tale. You'd have never known me. And all I tried to do was live life an honest man. And every step of the way, I was being shot down by dishonest people. Hurt by dishonest people. Betrayed, stabbed in the back. Heck, I'm even one of those guys that can say that I've been cheated on for another woman. Yeah. A woman who had nothing to her name. But I was a hard-working guy. I've been treated like shit for literally no reason. But that's what keeps me going. The fact that if I wasn't meant for something, why am I still here? Why am I still fighting? Why has my heart not given out yet? Why haven't I gone mentally insane? Why have I gone through so much? And still, I haven't had a clear-cut answer yet. Even now, friends that had been there for 10 years are no longer a part of my life anymore. Because of what they had going on with their life, and it got between us because I wasn't putting things towards their life. People have disowned me and hated me and have talked about me just because they had expectations and I didn't meet them. Because they wanted me to be a way for them, and I wasn't. People have lied to me knowing they were, and still stuck to their story. It's to the point where I'm doing this. I have so many people that care about me, but I still feel alone. I feel alone every day. Every freaking day. And I don't want a lot of money. I don't want a lot of fame. I just want to be able to look back and say that I'm not exactly where I was. I want to be successful. I want to be prosperous. I want all of this bullshit that I've been through to mean something. That's what a dream is. A challenge to the impossible. And you know what's really funny? I've even told somebody, another old friend that I had met through broadcasting, that it was a dream, seeing myself in the future being able to do this for a living. I dream it all the time. And you know what this individual told me? Why would you think of it? Why would you dream it when it's not going to happen? Imagine that. Being told, why bother? It's not going to happen anyways. Nobody believes in anyone anymore. It has to seem worth doing in order for it to be done. Nobody believes in dreams anymore. Well, I have a dream to see this through. Because not once have I ever been able to say that I can successfully do something I want to do. Not once. Because I was always left and right expected to do what others wanted me to do. And this is the only thing I've ever been able to do for myself is this. Heck, even my in-laws have doubted me. Just because it sounds impossible. Well, if you have notifications on for my channel, or if you plan to, after you see this, just know that my notifications are probably going to increase. Because I'm going to grind. I'm going to push. I'm going to aim to push out more videos, maybe even more than one in one day. Because it's high time I start pushing towards that dream. Because I got people that believe in me, and that's all I need. I don't need the people who aren't gonna. And let's face it, at the end of the day, I can say that I am not where I used to be. But I'm not where I wish I was. I want to be able to say that I made it. I want to be able to say that I did it. I want to be able to show this is what happens when you don't give up. Heck, for 3 years I thought, having a gaming PC was impossible. And I knocked out that goal in a month. So I'm meant for things. I just gotta push there and I gotta keep going. I can't stop. Because a dream is only as big as the person who dreams it. And let me tell you, I'm a big old bear. For those who listen to my story, I appreciate your time. I thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more, for I will continue to make these videos for many moons and very many more. Stay safe out there. Know a person's pain. Be there for them. Because speaking of those ill thoughts, rest in peace, Mac Miller. because he went the same way. Some people say he cried out, but nobody saw it. You got to pay attention to the people that you care about, because you may be one of those people who could save a life. You could be one of those people that could make the difference between a person's will to live or a person's will to end it all. Be that person, to be there for your peers. Because I know what it's like to be in that dark place and have nobody. And I am truly blessed to have made it out, but not everybody is that fortunate. Be there for people. Take 5 minutes out of your day to check up on somebody. Heck, the only people that blow my phone up outside of Discord are scam calls and bill collectors. I don't get anybody texting me. Not a lot of people DM me, but I can go into my communities where I have people. But on a truly personal, one-on-one level, nobody checks on me. My family doesn't talk to me. I feel alone in my heart because I always have been in one way or another. But I try to make sure that those people around me do not know what loneliness feels like, because this world has gone to hell and people are going through real life things left and right. So for anybody watching this video, whether I know you or not, if you are going through a stressful moment, I'm here for you. Let a brother be there for you. Because if you have nobody, you will always have somebody in me. And don't you forget it. Don't you forget it. And please, try me. Try me. I will prove it to you. Because too many people say it, not enough people do it. Let me show you how easy it is. If you have any issues, if you need to vent or anything, just holla at your bear. Peace out, guys.